Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle Sasala. I'm the athletic director here at Fenwick High School. Just like I did in the fall for all you fall sport athletes, I did it. I'm going to be doing a winter sports information meeting online. I just think it's a lot easier rather than bringing all of you guys here to the gym for a hour and a half long, boring informational meeting, but a very much needed informational meeting to cover all the things that we are going to talk about and do in the winter season. Again, my name is Kyle Sasala. I'm the athletic director here at Fenwick. I've been here now for 3 years, 2 years as the assistant athletic director, and now going on my 5th month as the athletic director. Alex Rice is our assistant athletic director. He has been here since June. He came from Kings, and prior to that, he was at Sycamore High School. Amy Anders, for all those of you that don't know who Amy Anders is, she is our athletic trainer. She does a great job working with the student athletes to make sure that they're safe on and off the field, taping them up, making sure that they are doing everything that they should be doing safely in regards to stretches, things like that. So she does a great job, and she's been here for 20 plus years and does a great job. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit about our Bishop Fenwick Athletics purpose. I want to use education-based athletics as a platform to transform student lives. This goes hand in hand with the transformational coaching model versus the transactional coaching model. Again, I want this to be an extension of the classroom. I want them to be able to learn. I want them to be able to build, to grow as a student athlete, not only as a student athlete, but also as an individual, and to build character, to be a great person, a great human being in general, a well-rounded person. I want to make sure that the coaches, care about our student athletes. We want what's best for them. We want them to succeed. Again, we want them to be well-rounded individuals, not only on the court, on the field, but also in life. So we want the kids to know that there's also going to be an impact. We want them to have an impact, or we want our coaches to have an impact on student athletes, not in just our 4 years here as coaches, as administrators, as Fenwick High School, but beyond that too. We do want our student athletes, your son, your daughter, to be able to come back and know that they had a great time as a student athlete, as a Fenwick Falcon, and that they had that these coaches had an impact, had a say, had a great time on their student athletes. We want them to know that it's bigger than the X's and the O's, bigger than the wins and losses. Again, like I said, we want them to be well-rounded individuals on and off the field, because there are things that they are going to learn on the field that will resonate and transform into the real world. So we're just here to get them to where they need to be later in life. The developmental piece, this is huge too. We want them to know that they're not going to be just a great student athlete. They're going to be a great human being, like I've said. We want them to get better. We want them to grow on the field, off the field. Again, we want them to develop as young men and young women. Another big piece is accountability. We want to make sure that all the student athletes are being held accountable. We want there to be rules. We want them to obviously not have everything handed to them. We want them to realize that in life there's going to be adversity, there's going to be diversity, there's going to be hard times. Not everything is going to be easy. Not everything is going to be handed to them. So we want them to obviously, again, learn that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are going to be some tough times. So we obviously, we've talked with our coaches to hold all the student athletes accountable. Again, this goes back to the transformational piece and the learning piece. We want them to learn and grow as young men, young women. Last but not least, we want them to understand that we want them to have a positive and fun experience. A lot of times, in today's day and age, it's all these student athletes are dreading going to practice. They're dreading going to school. They're dreading going to games. But we want this to be a positive and fun experience for the student athletes. We want this to be a great environment for them to learn, to grow, and also just to enjoy their time as a Fenwick Falcon for their 4 years. I want them to look back when they're alumni and say, "Hey, I had a great experience with Coach Holweger, Coach Mueller, Coach whoever. Again, just a positive and fun experience for the student athletes. Head coach directory. I just wanted to give you guys the contact information for all of our coaches. As you can see, we do have a lot of new coaches. Boys basketball coach Mike Holweger is our new boys basketball coach. Girls basketball, Brian Mahoney is stepping into a new role with Coach Scott Dalton, kind of taking a step back, still as head coach, but just going to be mentoring Coach Mahoney. Boys and girls bowling, we have a new coach, Denny Gray. His email is right there. Swimming coach, Katie Dukes has been the swim coach for the past couple of years now. Cheer, Renee Fisher is our new head varsity cheer coach. Started in the fall with fall cheer and now is transitioning over into the winter season. Dance is staying the same with Desiree Buckner. So again, just wanted to give you guys a head coaches directory for the winter. Moving on. OHSAA, obviously we all know that Fenwick is a proud member of the OHSAA, the Ohio High School Athletic Association. This is the association that we are a part of, that we do everything with. Pretty self-explanatory. There's some OHSAA preseason parent information. If you want to go ahead and take a look at that link, feel free. Moving on, I know sportsmanship has been a big component here at Fenwick. There are a couple links here that I want to have you guys go ahead and click on. But again, just make sure we have great sportsmanship on and off the field, not only the student athletes, but also the parents. A lot of times too, we have all these parents in the stands that are, saying derogatory things, doing this, doing that. We want to just make sure that we have great sportsmanship, again, on and off the field, because we want this to be, again, a transformational experience for not only the student athletes, but for the coaches, for you guys, and for the community. Just click on some of those links. Again, just want to have great sportsmanship in the stands. I love some great sportsmanship, but I do want to have this video, have you guys watch this video, this funny fan. Again, remember, this is just a funny video. It's intended to be funny, but it's also a great learning experience for all of our parents, student athletes, coaches, of how some spectators do act during games. So again, this is just an example, a funny example. So please don't take it to heart. Just something that we want to try to avoid. Again, we want to make this a positive, fun experience for the student athletes and for our student athletes and for your kids. Moving on. Hopefully all of you guys know by now what Final Forms is. Final Forms is every student athlete is required to have a Final Forms account, whether they're playing athletic, whether in a sport, band, cheer, whatever it is. Every student athlete needs to have a Final Forms account. Every student needs to be called, needs to be green. So what that means is they need to be registered, they need to have a valid physical, and all student forms and parent forms need to be signed before they can try out, practice, or play in any games. One of the awesome things that we can do now is have you guys upload physicals to your student, to your son or daughter's account. That makes it a lot easier for you and for me. When you upload those physicals, myself and Alex Rice will get an email letting us know that you guys have uploaded your physicals, and then Alex and I will go in there and update all physicals. So it doesn't automatically update your physical and turn you green. That just uploads your physicals, and then it notifies us that we will get notifies us that and we will update your son or daughter's physical. Again, all forms must be signed before any participation in athletics. Now moving kind of on to eligibility. Make sure that all student athletes, all your son and daughters are in school before 10 o'clock to be eligible to participate that day in a game, practice, tryout, whatever it is. Any excused absences can be ran through the front office. Just make sure you guys have a note, doctor's note, whatever it is for an excused absence. Still continuing with the eligibility. You must be enrolled in passing 5 one-credit classes. Physical education does not count as a full credit, only a half credit. Now moving on to kind of the Fenwick eligibility. This is something that's been in place for a while now, but you must have a 2.0 GPA or higher to participate. Again, this is the Fenwick eligibility. So this is to have a 2.0 at the time of the end of the quarter. If your son or daughter is below that 2.0 at the quarter, they will be considered Fenwick ineligible, and they will not be able to participate in games. Practicing is allowed, and then what Mr. Umberg and the counselors will do is they will have a grade check every 2 weeks, and if your son or daughter is above that 2.0 GPA grade check or GPA at the time of that grade check, they will be cleared to participate in playing games and practices for the rest of the quarter. So the biggest thing is just make sure we have, we make sure we're pushing for that student athlete. Obviously student first. We do take our academics here at Fenwick pretty seriously. So again, just make sure that we are getting on top of them about their education. Moving on, I do want to talk a little bit about communication / playing time. Again, I want to have open, honest, transparent, and in real-time communication. I think this works best. I don't like when communication is not there. I like to over-communicate. I like when student athletes are open and honest and transparent in real time with their communication and talking with their coaches as well as parents. Obviously, be open, again, open, honest, transparent, and in real time. And when I mean real time, I mean at the time of it when it happens. I don't like when things end up, boiling and boiling and boiling, and then at one point everything boils over at the end of the season. If you have a problem with something, please come to the coach. Please talk with your son or daughter. And again, we want them to learn something and to take initiative with their confusion, their questions, things like that. Playing time. This is the big one. Please try to have this playing time between player and coach. Obviously, a lot of times, if your student athlete or your son or daughter does not want to talk about playing time, please just sit them down, have a talk with them. If they don't want to talk with coach about playing time, please send coach an email. Any other questions or concerns outside of playing time, anything that's above playing time or something that you think is urgent or immediate, please talk with coach about any type of issues, questions, concerns, and then obviously I can step in as needed. But as last resort, I'd love to have you guys continue to talk with coaches and build that relationship with coaches. Moving on, transportation. For all you fall athletes, you all know that transportation has been a quote unquote nightmare. Just like everywhere else, they have no drivers. There's very low drivers. So the reality of it is we used to work with 3 different bus companies. Now we are down to 1 company due to low drivers. I want to make it known that there will not be any trips on weekdays before 4:15. Just the reality of it is that they just cannot pull their drivers from their normal routes. We do use Middletown now as our sole and only transportation company. So now we are kind of limited to them. Again, so Sells Transportation will have to be utilized for any early games that we have. So I want to make sure you guys are well aware of that, and that's communicated to all the parents, just so that we can have for those early games, transportation kind of set up and carpool set up and things like that to get all your son and daughters to their practices and their games. So again, just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. Again, this is kind of out of our control, but I just wanted to make sure you guys were communicated early enough in the season. Moving on, athletic fees, just like the fall, like I talked about, all athletic fees will be $300 regardless of participation in prior sport. A fee will be charged for any lost or damaged uniforms and equipment, so make sure that we're keeping all equipment that the school owns nice, neat, clean, not thrown on the ground, not in their book bag, things like that. Just make sure that the equipment is taken care of. All fees will be billed through our fax account. Hopefully now you know what our fax account is. All the fax account information will run through Brenda Steer. But just to give you an overview, fall participation will have an October payment, Winter participation will have a January payment. Spring participation will have an April payment. And I, myself or Brenda will be sending out an email before those payments are put through, just so you're not caught off guard, and make sure you're well aware ahead of time. Moving on. Again, hopefully by now you know all of our athletic, our athletic website and our social media platforms. Fenwicksports.org is our athletic website. A lot of awesome information on there. You'll find bus information, you'll find coaches information, you'll find purpose statement, athletic statement, things like that. Everything that you need to know about Fenwick athletics will be on the Fenwicksports.org website. So please feel free to check out the Fenwicksports.org website and make it a bookmark on your computer, on your phone. Twitter. This is our Twitter handle at Fenwick Sports. We are very, very active on Twitter with game day graphics, sport updates, finals, student and coach acknowledgments. One of the things we're going to start picking up again this winter is student athlete of the week, potentially student athlete of the month. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you follow all of our specific Twitter accounts, the sport-specific Twitter accounts as well. And if you don't know what those sport-specific Twitter accounts are, please talk to the coach or just search Fenwick Falcons, and I'm sure it'll pop up on Twitter. Also, make sure you download our app. It's the Bishop Fenwick Athletics app. It's in the Google Play Store. It's also in the Apple Store. On there's rosters, schedules, a bunch of different things on there that goes hand in hand with the athletic website. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Moving on, ticketing, just like the fall, we will be using hometown ticketing. To purchase your tickets, you will have to go to the fenwicksports.org website. There is the link right there, but it will be underneath the tickets tab on the fenwicksports.org website. We do have an updated ticketing process for the winter. It's very, very similar to the ticketing process of the fall. Just a couple of changes. Again, the student athletes will receive obviously a free athletic pass group for one. Hopefully they have redeemed that pass already for the fall season, but basically they will have to go on the Fenwicksports.org website and redeem their pass using their athletic or student ID. Make sure you take off that first zero. So again, like I was saying, the changes that we have for the winter are the boys and girls basketball season tickets. This includes all basketball games, but please do know that the boys and girls games will be sold separately. So boys will be $75 and girls will be $75 for season tickets. Just like the fall, we did the football season tickets. Every other sport is the swimming, the swimming, the bowling. Those other sports will be free to get in. But again, just wanted to make sure you guys knew that we are doing the season tickets again for the winter season, and that will be up on the fenwicksports.org website here by the end of the week. Please know, again, no tickets will be sold at the gate. They must be pre-purchased. We will have a QR code to scan at the gate if you have not purchased your tickets, but please know we will not have any money at the gate for you to purchase tickets. Please, please, please know that. Athletic passes, they are not accepted for any OHSA sanctioned games. The passes that we have are not valid over at the away events. Ticketing, again, please know that ticketing for away events will vary by school. Some are doing cash, some are doing the hometown ticketing, some are doing online. Every school is different, but this will be communicated to the families, parents, student athletes once that information is received from the visiting school. So if you haven't received it, please be patient. A lot of times the schools take their time on sending that information out. So as soon as I receive it, as soon as Alex receives it, we will pass along the information. Moving on, COVID is still obviously around. We still have to deal with COVID. Hopefully not for too much longer, but please click on the link to see the updated COVID guidelines. Not much has changed. A couple little things have changed, but please just click on that that COVID guideline right there. Just like the fall, vaccinated students do not have to quarantine unless they have symptoms. So if they don't have any symptoms, they can continue to participate. Excuse me. Any questions you have related to COVID can be directed to the school nurse, Sue Ebding, right there, as well as Amy Anders. Please make sure, I forgot the S right there. I apologize about that, but please make sure you keep Sue Ebding and Amy Anders in the loop about any COVID, any vaccine updates, any COVID restrictions, anything that has to do with COVID. Please talk with Sue and Amy Anders. Almost done. Just some important dates and information that I want to give to you guys. Picture Day for all sports will be November 16th in the Aux Gym. Times for that are to be determined, but normally it's right after school, 3:30 to about 6:30. Every single team will have its own picture time slot for about 25 to 30 minutes. So please make sure you save that date. Senior signing day is going to be Monday, November 15th. It was supposed to be November 10th, but obviously Kairos is that week, so we wanted to make sure that all of our senior student athletes were present, as well as all of their support systems. So just please make sure that date is on your calendar. For any student athletes that are signing, please make sure you stop in the athletic office and get more information. Team parent meetings. Coaches, if they haven't sent out that information yet, they will be sending out emails on dates and times and when they will have their their team information meetings about what they expect, their expectations, their guidelines, their rules, things like that. Last but not least, the athletic handbook. Those updates are being made as we speak. It's just taking a lot longer than I expected. So that athletic handbook will be updated hopefully by the start of the winter season games. But I will keep you guys up to date on that. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email myself, email Mr. Rice. Any COVID questions, please email Sue Ebding or Amy or Amy Anders. But again, hopefully we have a great winter season. Hopefully COVID can stay tamed. Hopefully we get past this season COVID free, knock on wood. But again, just hopefully we have a great season. Looking forward to a great season. And looking forward to my first winter season as athletic director. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Mr. Rice or myself. Go Falcons.